My name is Sachin Jain. I am currently working as the Director of Counseling Programs at the University of Providence in Montana, United States. I was born in India, moved to US 20 years ago. I have served at several different universities, and at University of Providence I have been working for last 4 years. My research interests include resiliency, math anxiety, test anxiety among middle school and high school students, and multiculturalism.
Thank you. Bueno, tenemos unas preguntas muy interesantes que queremos compartirle o que el doctor Sachin comparta con nosotros sus opiniones. Una de esas es, ¿qué significa para él estar en Estados Unidos siendo un consejero multicultural? Dr. Sachin, what do you mean or what means for you to be a multicultural counselor in USA?
Thank you. So being a minority in United States, all my sessions I feel I am working with a diverse population. In United States, we are very fortunate to have a racial diversity, unlike many countries where there is only ethnic diversity. So in United States, when we talk about multicultural counseling, the most important part which I address in the first session is how does the client, who in 90% of the cases is from a different race, feel about working with me as a counselor. After we address the racial difference between the client and counselor, then we go ahead on working with the client goals and how we can support them in our role as a counselor to reach their full potential for the client.
Okay, very good. Bueno, conocemos también por el currículo del doctor Sachin, que tiene una formación básica de pronto diferente a lo que tenemos los orientadores en Colombia. En el caso de él es profesor de matemáticas. Primero se formó como profesor de matemáticas y ahora está ejerciendo como orientador, como consejero, tal como ellos dicen. Please, Dr. Sachin, tell us something about what's the relations, the relationship between teaching math and to be professional counseling.
Thank you. When we talk about mathematics as a subject, it have a widespread use. So for example, if someone wants to finish their undergraduate in history, but their exams still consist of mathematics. So during the high school time, there is a lot of focus on mathematics because it is going to impact rest of the life. And sometimes that creates more anxiety among students given so much focus is given to the mathematics. In most of the countries, we are not fortunate to have manageable teacher-student ratios. So there is always a pressure on mathematics teacher to cover the content without realizing or assessing the data on how much content is being absorbed by the students. For example, if the students have high anxieties, a teacher can present any concept, but students will not be able to absorb the key learnings from that concept. It is like throwing seeds on a barren land. Yes, you can throw the seeds, but those seeds are never going to change to a tree. So I, as a counselor, feel we have to balance the academic skills with the psychological well-being of the students. So when the anxiety is optimal, the students in a healthy state to learn those concepts, and then if they acquire the mathematical skills, it enhances both psychological well-being and academic skills.
Bueno, el doctor Sachin también es miembro de una asociación de consejeros multiculturales en Estados Unidos, ACD, y nos parece muy interesante que él nos hable acerca de esta asociación y las posibilidades que tendríamos los orientadores en Latinoamérica de establecer algún convenio con ellos. Yes, please, Dr. Sachin, tell something about MCD Association, what the purpose, what the objectives of this association, and whatever you want to share with us, please.
Thank you. So, AMCD, the Association of Multicultural Counseling and Development, is one of the oldest divisions of American Counseling Association. As I shared earlier, America is a country with different racial diversity. It's a huge country with representations from different, not only ethnic but also racial uh, individuals. So at AMCD, we have multiple concerns groups. So for example, we have African American concerns group, we have Asian American concerns group, we have Latin American concerns group. Now those concerns group mainly focus on citizens within the United States. So for example, African Americans who are living within the United States, if a counselor want to work with them, AMCD helps them with the resources and the best evidence-based practices. 3 years ago, AMCD approved a concerns group for international counselors. Dr. Anne Schillingford, she is originally from a Caribbean country of Dominica, was the first vice president of AMCD's International Concerns Group, and she just won the AMCD president's election. So she will be the incoming president for AMCD. So as a Latin American counselor, that will be the best division to work with as we create some joint programs, some joint professional development opportunities, and create an awareness so that our counselor educators or counselors in America who are interested in partnering with counselors in Latin America, they will have some contact, some support in providing whatever resources they can mutually share with each other.
And about the relationship with the Latin American consulate, what's your opinion?
I think in United States we have a very strong research on working with Latin American population living within the United States. So that could be a seed to start some joint ventures. So there are opportunities, but those have never been explored in future because there were not much platform to explore those opportunities with.
Tenemos otra pregunta para el doctor Sachin, ya que él ha recorrido varios países de Latinoamérica acerca de cuál es su percepción de la orientación y nos venía hablando fuera de cámara de que él conoce alguna situación de los orientadores en Argentina. Please, Dr. Sachin, tell us something, what's your opinion about the counseling in Latin America, especially in Argentina?
Sure. Thank you. So I was fortunate to be able to spend some time in Argentina, Brazil, and now I will be moving to Venezuela. So the limited exposure I had to the field of counseling in some of the Latin American countries, the qualification to serve as a counselor varies from each country to each country. So it is my understanding that in Argentina you can serve as a counselor sometimes even with a diploma or an undergraduate degree, versus some other countries you need to have a master's level training to work as a counselor. While working in central Brazil, I felt addiction was a big issue there as compared to some of the urban centers where stress and anxiety were bigger issues. So when we talk about Latin America, it is so diverse in context of the psychological issues, the mental health training, and access to mental health counselor. It will be good to have a joint program to help support the countries which are in high needs of counseling. Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes amigos latinoamericanos. Seguimos en este nuevo programa que tenemos en orientación que se llama A la hora de la campana. Recuerden que la campana es un símbolo, tal vez el único símbolo que tiene sonido. Los otros símbolos que tenemos es el faro, que no tiene sonido, y los restos de los vientos, que tampoco tienen sonido. Hoy nos encontramos con un invitado muy especial que se llama el doctor Jain Sachin, de la Universidad de Montana en Estados Unidos. How are you, Mr. Sachin?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for the invitation and meeting today.
Okay, we are very happy because you are here and we appreciate a lot this conference for our consuls in Latin America, especially to the consular here in Bogota, Colombia. Well, Dr. Sachin is an inspiring teacher. He's an inspiring teacher, and he is going to inspire us about some situation and some topic that are very interesting to talk about. Talk about something about yourself, Dr. Sachin.
Sure. So in India, I was born in the third class. So as you may be aware of caste system in India, there are four different stratas. So the third strata is about business. So I wasn't expected to complete my high school. So the life cycle of a male in my social strata is at 14, you start to work with your dad or whoever is the patriarch of the family. By 18, depending on your skills, you start your own business venture, and by 22, you get married. Again, like the marriage is arranged by the family with the whole goal of how to expand the family business. I didn't subscribe to that model. So, just to give you an idea, like my subcaste is only 0.6% of India's population, but we control 60% of India's wealth. I always believed in equitable distribution of wealth. Savings are important, but for me, savings are okay. You have 1 year of reserve fund, not 10 generations of reserve fund. So I broke away from the family on the whole idea of accumulation of wealth versus sharing of wealth. I then became mathematics teacher. After working as a mathematics teacher for 5 years, I realized that many students had high anxieties. So even though they had the potential to learn the concept of mathematics, grade level mathematics, for example, grade 10 students, cognitively they are competent to learn grade 10 mathematics, but their psychological distress or anxiety is so high that they are not able to learn those concepts. So I read my first counseling book, Understanding Human Nature by Alfred Adler, and started using some of those concepts in my classroom teaching. And later on, I started an after school group for students who were having these academic anxieties. And I followed them for like 3 years just to see the progress they made. And after 3 years, when I saw the gains they made by using simple counseling strategies, that made me inclined towards completing my master's and then subsequently PhD in that area because I believe in the power of psychological well-being along with the academic skills. So both have to go hand in hand. Uh, and I finished my doctoral program at University of Wyoming in United States. Now almost 20 years ago, in 2003, I started. My first job was at University of Texas, and then over the years, I got to work at many different institutions. And for the last 4 years, I have been working as the director of counseling programs at University of Providence.
Okay. Well, very interesting life curriculum. Yes, very interesting and very inspiring too. Okay, we're going to make a stop here, and we wait. We wait. The people is connected to later with this transmission.
Okay.
Bueno, en esta parte final de la entrevista, agradeciéndole al doctor Sachin por su participación en este nuevo programa de la hora de la campana, le vamos a entregar dos pequeños regalos. We have two gifts for you. The first is a notebook for inspiring teachers in order
Gracias.
to take notes, maybe of this travel in Colombia. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. And another gift is a bell, in order that you remember this situation, this opportunity, and yes, do you remember what is the meaning?
Yes, to reflect back. So that the bell is a sign to take a pause and connect back to the consciousness.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you,
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Sachin. It's my pleasure. We appreciate a lot this opportunity to learn about your experience and your knowledge. And we have another interview with Conrad Lawrence University. My university is invited to you to share to our students the opportunities of studies and scholarship in USA. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.